The bail application for six suspects, including Dr Nandipha Magudumana, has been postponed to next week by the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court. They are charged with helping Thabo Bester escape from the Mangaung Prison. Two new accused, former G4S control room operators Dieho Makhosa and Nastasia Janssen, made their first appearance in court. The defense pleaded with the court to set aside 3 days to allow all the suspects to apply for bail. The state says it intends to oppose a bail for Magudumana, saying she's a flight risk. As mentioned earlier, let's now cross to SABC News senior reporter Chriselda Lewis, who has been watching developments in court for us. Chriselda, an emotional day in court for some of the families. Wrap the day for us.
Well, that's right, Bongiwe. Our day basically started with visiting the family of Katlego Bereng. We had heard that Katlego Bereng's family would, for the very first time, be coming to court this morning. You would recall, Bongiwe, from the last postponement to today, that was when the South African Police Service had confirmed to us that the charred body, or the remains that were found inside Thabo Bester's cell were identified as that of Katlego Bereng. And essentially his family had been looking for him for quite some time. They did not know where he was until through the links of DNA with his mother, it was then confirmed that the person that was inside the cell, which was used as a decoy while Thabo Bester had escaped from Mangaung Prison, was the body of Katlego Bereng. So my colleague Kamugela Siakoi had went out to interview the family this morning. They'd essentially been calling for no bail. I waited for them here at court. That's where they reiterated their stance, calling for every single one involved in the saga to be held to account. Let's take a listen.
We know we're not getting answers today, but hopefully at the end of this process we are going to have hope and closure. And we are saying no bail. We are just saying no bail to whoever has got a hand in Katlego's hand. Katlego's death hasn't just killed Katlego. It's killed many souls, the family, the neighbors, the entire country.
And Bongiwe, there's been growing support for the Bereng family, while there were many community members standing outside this court here behind me. Also here were Bloemfontein Celtic supporters, members who were also here as well. And we spoke to some of them who say they were very distraught when they heard that it was the body of Katlego Bereng that had been found inside the cell of Thabo Bester. The link between that is that we heard that Katlego Bereng had been one of the deputy chairs of the local branches here of the Bloemfontein Celtic Supporters Club. They say they're very shocked by what has happened. They too are calling for no bail.
No bail, for everyone, no bail,
because they are all, it's not only one person, but this thing was a teamwork.
All right, so as soon as court got underway, we did have an understanding as soon as the legal counsel for all the accused entered the court that there might be, Bongiwe, a postponement in this matter. You would recall, of course, on Monday there were two former G4S employees that had been arrested, and you referred to one who is Nastasia Janssen. She is accused number 8 in this particular matter. Recall, accused number 7 and 8, who were the two G4S former employees who were arrested on Monday. They are said to be former control room operators. So that was their first appearance inside court this morning. There was a lot of mulling around between the different legal counsel about whether the bail applications should go ahead or they should be combined. on the basis that accused 7 and 8 had only been arrested on Monday, and there was no clarity this morning about whether there will be any legal representation for Nastasia Jansen. But once her legal representation got here, there had been some conversations amongst the legal representatives, some of them wanting the bail application to be postponed and heard over 3 days, basically saying they wanted it from the 10th, 11th and 12th of May, and while the state itself wanted it over 2 days, which is the 11th and the 12th, saying that it was not available on the 10th of May. But after much consideration, the presiding magistrate felt that the 2 days, the 11th and the 12th, that would be set down for the bail applications of all of these accused. So it will be combined. All the accused that were in the dock today, including Dr Nandipha Magudumana, will then bring forward their bail applications next week. The state will be opposing those bail applications. But in final conclusion, let's hear what the presiding magistrate had to say.
After listening to both the prosecution and the defense team on the aspect of a date for bail application hearing, I come into the conclusion that it will be in the interest of justice for this court to adjourn the case to the date of the 12th, rather the 11th and to the 12th.
Well, Bongi, where a notable presence here outside the court, they were unable to go inside, were Nastasia Jansen's family. You would recall, as I indicated, she had been arrested with another control room operator, a former G4S employee. This was on Monday. Her family came to court this morning. They say they don't know why she was arrested. They say she was fired from G4S last year, but they say that they don't understand why she has been implicated in this. She says she has nothing to do with what happened. They do concede that she was in the employ of G4S and was a control room operator, but saying they believe her version that she's got nothing to do, while she says, or while her family has indicated to me, she heard of what happened through the other warders that were working for G4S or are still working for G4S. They believe that Nastasia Jansen has got nothing to do with the actual escape of Thabo Bester. Her mother was very emotional outside court when she spoke to SABC News. So was her father and her uncle as well. Let's take a listen to what the mother and the uncle had to say to me earlier on.
She did work in the control room, but she was fired last year, December. Was she at home? She was fired, and till today she's fired. I don't know what's happening.
There's no communication with her, no contact. They refuse that the whole time.
Bongi, where that basically sums up all that took place outside and inside the courtroom today. As you correctly pointed out, the bail applications of all of these accused now will be heard next week. This is on the 11th and the 12th, but the presiding magistrate has indicated that if those 2 days are not enough, they will then decide next week what further dates would or can be made available for the bail applications to be concluded. Once again, the state will be opposing.
All right, thank you very much for wrapping the day for us there, and it'll be interesting to hear what they argue as some of their reasons for them to be granted bail. That's our senior reporter Chriselda Lewis watching those developments in Bloemfontein for us.